In this edition of INN CEO Talks, I'm joined by Gordana Slepcev, the CEO of Lomiko Metals, a Canadian mining company with two projects in Quebec focused on renewable energy metals. Gordana, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here today and be able to provide update on the works we're doing currently.
So I know that there's some news that's just come out about this week about your Flowthrough private placement. Bring us up to speed. What's going on with that, and where are you going to be putting those funds to work?
Yes, we've been working on securing more funds to advance the works on the regional exploration. We have acquired earlier in the year 6 new graphite properties, and we want to conduct geophysical studies so we can advance those projects. We actually have started one of the surveys, been completed actually yesterday by Prospect Air, and the other 6, actually 5 properties out of the 6 would be completed later in July and early in August. Also, we want to continue the work at our Bourrier property. We actually have the team now at the site. They have started on July 3rd. They have collected so far about 1,100 soil samples and about 400 rock samples. During 2021, we have identified 2.5 kilometer trend, actually, with increased and anomalous values of the lithium, tantalum, and cesium. So goal of this program that we're doing now is to follow up on these anomalous values and collect more data.
So tell me exactly where in Quebec it is that your projects are, because for a lot of investors, they're unfamiliar with the company and they don't have the kind of background that would help them understand the region that we're talking about.
So our flagship project, Loutre, which is a graphite project, is about 180 kilometers northwest from Montreal. We also have acquired, as I mentioned, another 6 properties, which are about 50 to 100 kilometers radius from Loutre. Some are a little bit more south and some a little bit northeast from Loutre. And our Bourrier project is in the James Bay area. It is along the Nemaska Trend. Everybody's familiar with Nemaska Lithium and their project, also critical elements, Rose Tantalum Lithium project that's now in detail engineering phase. So it is along these trends and in these white pegmatite rocks as well. So we're hoping to really continue the work we've done last year and follow up on some of these targets. And also talking about the Bourrier, there is also Lamar showing that is just south and along the same trend that we're exploring.
So in all of these properties, your La Loutre and Bourrier properties, it's graphite that you are exploring for and confirming resources. Is that right?
So the southern Quebec, yes, it's a graphite, it's a gravel trend, and our Bourrier property is a lithium property, and it is along the Nemaska trend, the lithium trend.
But La Loutre is your primary project at the moment, is that the case?
That's correct. So we have published the positive PA in July 2021, and since then we have done quite a bit of the work to advance that project toward PFS. So we have started with the infill program. At this point, we have drilled 8,100 meters in the EV zone. So we may do a little bit of the break in the summer drilling to complete some baseline studies. And then we have to evaluate when it's actually the best time to restart with the battery zone. Is that in September or maybe a little bit later in the fall? Because there is also portion of the properties, covered by the outfitting rights and the hunting. So we're working with these groups, of course, to ensure safe drilling in the area. But yes, so we're really happy to move with the La Loutre project with the infill drilling. We have hired the local Quebec consulting company, to complete resource estimate. We expect that somewhere early next year. We also have completed initial studies metallurgical studies with the Pro-Graphite group from Germany and COREM, which is Quebec-based laboratory. So really excellent results on the purification trials, and also very good results on the basic physical characteristics of the graphite. And of course, we want to continue that work. We have hired HGS. We have sent somewhere about 800 kilograms of the core so far, and they're doing actually compositing for us and looking to do further flotation testing and then create the concentrate. The concentrate is really something that we're looking forward to, so we can do more of the spherical graphite and battery trials, some other value-added testing with other laboratories in Canada and abroad.
So for a lot of investors, they're going to be saying, okay, what are your long-term plans? Are you looking to vend in with a major or bring on a partner, or do you foresee moving forward independently to build out this site?
So we want to bring all our projects into production. Are we going to do it alone, or are we going to have some partners? Everything's possible. We're looking at all the options that allow for projects to move forward, and also for the shareholders and stakeholders to create the value. So our vision is to create the pipeline of the projects that we're developing and moving further. That's why we have acquired all these properties in the Granville province, so we can actually create a pipeline of the graphite deposits and the projects to feed into possibly centralized processing facility in the area.
So what's the most important thing that you want potential investors to be thinking about when they think about Lomiko as an investment that they're going to put into their own portfolio? Like, they're going to be asking, okay, why now do I invest in your company?
So you probably hear this quite often, because we're really undervalued, and at this point we have quite a nice portfolio of the assets, both in the graphite and lithium, and we're actively developing these assets. So we expect, after we actually do the infill drilling and do resource estimate, we're going to upgrade our resources, which are at La Loutre 70 million tons of the graphite for about 3 million tons of the in-situ graphite. So 2/3, or about 46 million of those resources are inferred. So in order to move on with the feasibility study and really be considered as a serious development company, we really need to upgrade those resources, and we have to move on with our metallurgical testing. So we have made, of course, the steps in both directions with the infill drilling and with the metallurgical testing. Really, the initial results are excellent, and we expect to confirm those results and create some samples that we can send to the companies so they can test for both battery production and plastic industrial uses as a lubricants, refractory, nuclear, plastic, ceramics. Namely, there's quite a few uses for the graphite. Historic uses aside, of course, the biggest market is EV vehicles and energy storage, and we have seen projections that demand is going to go up to 8 million tons by 2030. The different groups have different projections, but we all agree the demand is going to go up. And we're going to see a shortage in the graphite production in the next couple of years. So we believe that once we're ready and get permitted our project, we're doing steps there, of course, doing baseline studies, that once we get in production, it's going to be actually in the time when you're going to see the biggest shortage in the graphite, and demand is going to be there. Like we see US, we see Canada, all these commitments to actually transitioning to the electric vehicles and decarbonizing the transport is going to drive this change. And for a company that can invest in Lomiko and help us out build this company, is going to see bigger re-rates and bigger increases than for somebody who's going to come in a year or two.
So when should we be looking for a next milestone announcement from you?
So we'll be looking to put some of the news releases on the drilling. the industry is that way. There's some delays, of course, with the assays, but so far, as I mentioned, we drilled about 8,100 meters. We have started getting some assays back, and we're going to be starting putting some news releases on the drilling in September and October, and then having some look on the further metallurgical testing results somewhere in October, November, and then updated resource estimate, hopefully January, February, or prior to PDAC next year.
Well, we'll be watching, and hopefully you'll come back and give us updates in the fall and into early next year.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to join again and present and update the shareholders and general public on Lomiko and the progress at both the Loutre Graphite project, Lithium, and our regional exploration.
Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you for your time today.
You're welcome.